Why did you pick a male voice as the main narrator / part? Or essentially the character?
This is something I battled with. It's something I'm still battling with because I have a fear that the audience will expect me to create a story with powerful female characters, but I used a guy for this, but it has nothing to do with the fact that he's a guy. And it to me, this story isn't about a man. It just happens to be that he is a man. It's about a human. And the reason I chose him is because he's what I saw in my head when I got the concept of this story. And I needed it to be about someone who doesn't look like they have depression, because that's where it all stemmed from. I also knew right away that I wanted Jordan for the part. I saw him in my vision of the story. And it wasn't just that he's an actor that I have access to, that he'll do it. I literally saw him as an actor in this part. I knew that it was something that's going to be really difficult for an actor, and I knew that Jordan could go there. It's also a really physical role because we do give a physical presence to depression, and I don't want to spoil it, but I needed someone who is physically strong, and I'm not saying that a woman wouldn't be, but it was a perk to having Jordan do it because I knew that he could physically do it, and I wanted to shoot it in a quick time, and I didn't want to have to search for someone else when I already felt like this is the guy that I see in the story. Also, he has the ability to be really vulnerable, and I know that I'm not going to have to pull it out of him. I know that I can get it very easily. So it was another perk to having him be the lead in the story. This could easily be interchanged with a woman or non-binary. Like, anybody could be in this movie again. It could be another story about someone else's life. The vision that I had was this guy named Will. It was his story. And I think that's why I couldn't have switched to someone else. Even if Jordan said no, I don't know that I would have done it, because this is this guy named Will's particular story. A lot of people write a movie just to make a movie. You know, it's not to tell an important story. But this is so based in the importance of telling the story that it is just Will's story, but it resonates with so many people. So yes, I'm still battling the fact that people might be upset that it's not a girl, because I'm it's so important to me to empower women and to use women in stories. But I'm hoping that the fact that a woman wrote it, directed it, was the cinematographer, I hope that will kind of balance out that.
Discriminating against feminism or anything like that. God knows I'm a feminist myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like we're living in a time where we so easily put men down.
Mm-hmm.
So this could also be like, men can be vulnerable to this, men can be susceptible to this, and men can show this too. It's okay for a man to say, I'm not okay, or I'm emotional.
It's interesting that you say that, because a lot of this movie is based in reality. I mean, all of it is. Everything that's in it has happened to someone I know or me, myself. And I think that I was so drawn to Will being a guy because there's been a couple of very important men in my life that this exact thing has happened to. And seeing them be vulnerable and and deal with this internal struggle, it really hit me whenever it was happening. And the interesting thing was none of them wanted to talk about it, and it only burdened them more by not talking about it, and it only made things worse for them and for everyone else. But the second that they started to open up, you know, the easier it was for us to figure out how to deal with this and to keep them getting up every day and fighting for something. So yeah, that's definitely another reason seeing the men in my life be vulnerable, I think, stuck with me, and just it struck a chord that needed to be told.